Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this edition of Jim's 5am Club. As you can see, I'm down here at the Opera Bar. It's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. It's overcast. The sun is probably behind all those clouds. There's hardly a breeze blowing. It's very, very quiet. It's very, very still. The flags on the harbour bridge are listless, but Sydney is at its brilliant best with all of its lights, a magnificent and glorious mistress, always changing, always enchanting, and always seducing us and taking away our breath. Anyway, what I want to do today is just go on a bit of a walk and talk, and I want to have a chat to you about a book summary entitled Getting There by an author named Gillian Zoe Segal, and see what we can learn, what we can incorporate into our daily lives, because when it's all said and done, one of the greatest things we can do is read and learn from other people. It's called OPE, Other People's Experiences, and it's a way that we can shortcut knowledge, wisdom, by learning from other people's examples, other people's successes, and also learning from other people's failures. So what are we going to learn today from this book entitled Getting There? The book kicks off with a quote. The author has a lovely little quote here where she reminds us that most behaviour is habitual. Because at the end of the day, humans are habitual in nature. If you study somebody long enough, sooner or later, what you'll do is you'll tune into their habits, their rituals, their way of thinking, and you'll be able to get into their way of living. Because as the author says here, that most behaviour that we express is habitual. And they say that chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are far too heavy to be broken. So in that message from the author, in that profound message from the author, I may add, is also a warning that whatever habits you have are going to enable you to live either a good life where you can look back and be happy with your outcome and your lifestyle, or you could be looking back and saying, well, geez, I could have done things a little better. But that is a powerful saying. They say that the chains of habit are far too light to be felt until they become far too heavy to be broken. The author then goes on to quote Jim Rohn, and I remember going to a Jim Rohn seminar many, many years ago when I was in my 30s, and I was very much into personal development back in the days where I was reading a book or two. I was reading a book or two on personal development a week, and I remember Jim Rohn says that at the end of the day, you are the average of the 5 people who surround you. And it's something that we all need to think about, because we are influenced very, very heavily by the half dozen people or so that we spend most time with. Because the author here talks about the fact that proximity and popularity create a big influence in our lives. So proximity means being in the company of people on a daily basis or on a regular basis. And popularity means that, we're looking up to these people, we find them funny, we find them engaging, and we just like being around them. But thereby, the author says, is also a major risk, because sometimes the people who are the funniest, the people who are the most popular, are not necessarily the people who are best for us. You need to be hanging around people who are going to cajole you, who are going to encourage you to become a better version of yourself, to help push you out of your comfort zone rather than let you languish in that comfort zone. So the call to action for each of us is to continue to review, to continue to look at the people we hang out with the most, our partners, our friends, our families, our work peers, and to be very, very selective in terms of where we focus and how much influence we allow them to have on our lives. And also to understand that this author here takes us and puts a different spin on this Jim Rohn quote. And he says that at the end of the day, we end up becoming the average of the 5 authors that we read the most, which once again rings alarm bells for me, because you hardly see anybody anymore reading books. We all have access to the internet. We've all got access to social media, Instagram, Facebook, but a lot of that material that comes from those sources is misguided, is misrepresentative, and is very, very shallow. So it's not going to enable you to think critically and to broaden and to deepen your understanding of the world around you, nor to shape you in a positive way to become a better, bigger and stronger version of yourself. So then the author then kicks off with a few important points, important messages in this book, and the first of which is, regardless of your weaknesses, it's important to understand that you can utilize the tools at your fingertips to build your ideas. We have the internet. We have the power of the internet and social media that we can leverage. It's very, very powerful. And it's once you understand the power of that resource that you've got available to you, that you can start using it to your benefit. Because the internet is very, very powerful, and it is a remarkable tool to enable you to connect, to network, and to collaborate with people of like mind from all over the world. I guess the trick for each and every one of us is not to get sucked into into joining groups which are negative, which are conspiracy theorists, but to work and to collaborate with people who are positive and generate hope. Because the internet can connect people through both efficient and effective means. It enables us to leverage our ideas through technology, but it's also important that we get involved and we use it, because I've got a lot of friends who are disconnecting from social media, who are no longer actively involved on the internet. And I guess the big risk that they face is that they end up becoming a dinosaur and lose touch, I guess, with their friends, their family, their communities, and become isolated, which on the one hand it can be an advantage, but from what I understand is that the digitization and the digital platforms will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you're not connected, you basically will be disconnected. So the other point that comes from this book, from this wonderful author, is that when you persist time and time again after being shot down, you will eventually reach your dreams. One of the big messages, one of the big lessons for each and every one of us, and we've seen it through our friends around us, the ones who have the stickability, the ones who just continue to persevere, eventually get there and eventually become leaders in their particular field. Because what happens is, along the way, a lot of other people who are probably better than them, have got better skills, better connections, better networks, they give up. And once they give up, they go and start something else, and until they find it difficult and give up on that. And it's a cycle. It's a cycle that they get into. They start many things, and they master and become leaders in very few. So the message from this author is that we need to be persistent, but we also need to stay flexible with our approach and very focused and determined with our goals and our mission. But being flexible with your approach is the key, because invariably along the way we're going to have hiccups, we're going to have roadblocks, we're going to have challenges, but we're able to get through that, over that, by just sticking it out. And as a manager of mine once said, even if you don't like your manager, even if you hate your team or your job that you're currently doing at the moment, by simply sticking it out means that eventually that boss will move on, your job will change, and you will be in a better position than most other people, because you've hung in here. So as a lot of people say, just hang in there, and it's only a matter of time where your rewards will be multiplied in many ways. And the author then goes on to the third point in this book, where he reminds us that even if you do fail at first, it can be an opportunity to do what you were meant to do. We just got to accept our faith, our fate is one of the messages from this book, because each failure that comes to us will strengthen our resolve and determination, because we can learn, each and every one of us can learn purpose and persistence and resourcefulness. Just keep on going, as my friend Johnny D always encourages me to do. Just keep on going, he says. Just do it one step at a time. Just keep on moving, and along that path, other windows, other doors, other opportunities will magically appear. Because by just keeping on going on that particular journey, that adventure, it will take you to another fork, to another door, to another window. And the more you move, the more you're going to learn, and the greater the network, the skills, the failures, and the opportunities will present themselves to you. So thank you once again. I'll finish up now. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. This is the third vlog for the day, so I've kicked off Tuesday with 3 vlogs already. So what I do is not easy, and my friend Emmanuel Angelicus reminded me, and I appreciated his message, where he says that what I do isn't easy. To get up every single day, to knock out 3 to 5 vlogs, 1.5 hours of non-stop thinking, non-stop focus, non-stop talking, is a feat in itself. I surprised myself. I've got to tell you, I surprised myself, because I started this journey a year ago at the beginning of COVID-19, And I thought to myself, what can I do to make the most of this bad time? A time when we can't socialise, a time when we can't connect. And I just thought about doing a Jim's 5 a.m. club where I get to highlight the beauty of this mistress known as Sydney, who changes every single day and throughout the day and entices us, seduces us with her glory. And I thought of taking that and overlaying a message of empowerment that will enable us to get through the morning, get through the day, where we can have some shared experiences, go on a volta, a walk and talk, and learn and incorporate it into our daily schedules so that we can live, learn and pass it on, and where we can encourage each other, as I said before, and be the wind beneath our, our wings, the wave beneath our board, the wind that bellows our sails, like those sails are always bellowed on the Opera House. Oh, look at that pink sunrise. I'll just head up there now. And to be the propellers, the turbines that churn the water and move us forward in a direction that we desire and where we want to head. So once again, thank you to all the people who support me, who follow me, and who make it all worthwhile. Because I've got to tell you, there are days, there are moments when I get up and I ask myself, why do I continue to do this? And I'm always reminded that I do it because it's an act of love. It's something that I love doing, and I'm doing it to help the people that I love, I guess, at the end of the day. And this may be at some point in time my legacy, something that will keep on keeping on, because once we digitize wisdom, once we digitize knowledge, once we digitize other people's experience, then it's something that keeps on keeping on. And as I said the other day, if I was to pay myself for what I do, each vlog I talk for about 15 to 20 minutes. I take about half an hour or so to take down and make some notes on the book summaries that I present, and then I need time to upload it, to document it, to catalogue it, and all of this takes time. So even if I just charge myself $100 per episode, then when I get to my goal, and my goal is the 1,000 vlogs, then I've generated $100,000 worth of value that I'm offering and presenting free of charge to my friends, my family, and to all the people that I care for. So thank you very much once again for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And as you can see, it's a cloudy morning, but it's a beautiful, beautiful morning. And we have this magnificent orange glow on the east coast of Sydney. And I'll get up here and just see if I can capture it for you. It is beautiful. It is most beautiful. So how lucky are we? Look at the harbour waters. How beautiful is this? Just fantastic. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable. And wishing you all the very, very best on this terrific, colourful Tuesday, and make the most of this wonderful day. Bye for now.